We would now like to ask about the addiction crisis. The war on drugs is increasingly acknowledged to have been politically motivated to turn substance abuse into an incarceration issue rather than a public health issue. Evidence also shows us how harmful incarceration is in terms of the mental health repercussions of imprisonment and in terms of exacerbating mental health or addiction issues, among other problems. Stress and trauma also significantly affect the brain, altering decision-making capabilities later in life, which you have both addressed. So this means that the disproportionately non-white incarcerated population is at a substantially higher risk of such issues and therefore substantially disadvantaged due to their incarceration. You have both spoken extensively on your goals to disrupt policies that drive mass incarceration of minority populations, such as gang enhancements and the 3 strikes law. The first part of my question is, can we expect to see an appropriate sense of urgency in reconciling the discrepancy between substance abuse policy and policies that target minority populations? And the second part is, what measures will you take to delegate the persisting issue of substance abuse to appropriate public health, medical, and neuroscience experts? And we're also going to keep the answers to 2 minutes.
Hey, you're trying to get lawyers to cut down. We're not scientists, we're lawyers. Right? We like to talk. We make a living out of talking. Well, very quickly, the sense of urgency is great. So immediately, if I were to be elected DA, we're going to take steps to address these issues. One of the things that we would do is that we would definitely look to the high number of people that are in the system today that qualify for diversion that are not being diverted. RAND just did a recent study on the population of the LA County Jail. Out of roughly 17,000 people, there were 6,000 who qualified for mental health diversion, but they were not being diverted. They need to be diverted. And I know that often you hear the current DA said, well, if we had a place to divert them, we would, but we don't. And the question that I asked her one time is, would you take somebody who has cancer and put them in jail because they don't have a place to get cancer treatment? Obviously, the answer to that is no. So why would we take a mentally ill person and put them in a concrete box in order to get treatment that they're not going to get, right? So we have to, first of all, start getting those people out of the custody setting, and we have to make sure that they are getting the treatment that they need. And we have to identify, as we're incarceration, we have to shift funding sources in order to provide better services. The other thing that we have to do is that we really, again, this is where science comes in. We have to be thoughtful that for every year that you're incarcerated, you have somewhere between a 4 and 7% likelihood that you're going to reoffend. So you can see what incarceration does to your rate of recidivism. Again, applying science and understanding that your intervention should be the least harmful intervention that you can in order to achieve the community safety goal is really important. That's why collecting data, looking at your work, understanding whether you're getting it or not. For instance, in San Francisco, we did recidivism dashboards. So we started to understand better what were the interventions that we were doing and were working and the ones that were not.